Taking a look down onto this lake here. Even though it rained and warmed up quite a bit, it still remained mostly frozen. And you can see it's just cold. 24 degrees is what that ice is at. Although it's not as cold as it's been. I remember last week this ice was about negative 10 degrees. Good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. So we had quite a bit of a ride of some weather, especially for some folks in the tri-state region. So yesterday it was about 60 degrees. Right now, as of recording this, it is about 24 degrees. That's quite a drop in temperatures over the course of a day. I remember this morning I was following the temperatures, and I saw specifically at Montauk in Long Island, it dropped about 10 degrees in 1 hour. I did a special weather video for television where we were talking about tri-state temperatures. That was about 8:30. And Montauk was at 52 degrees while pretty much everywhere else was in the 30s. And then an hour later, I updated that video, and it dropped to 42 degrees while everybody else was getting down into the 20s to the low 30s. So about an hour, we dropped 10 degrees at Montauk this morning. I thought that was quite interesting. Now we're also going to have some winds kicking up. So let's talk about that here. I'm going to switch over to my main computer screen here. And this is showing some a little different advisories. The ones that are in this kind of beigey yellow kind of color, that's not really any kind of warning or anything. These are the special weather statement and the hazardous weather outlook. That's nothing really that you're going to pay a lot of attention to. Once you get to the advisory, watch, and warning level, yeah. These special weather statements and hazardous weather, this is more so for what you can look into for the National Weather Service, not meteorologists. That's kind of their thoughts on the situation. But we still do have flood warning out there. It looks like these are right around some rivers throughout Connecticut. So that you got to watch out for, because of all the rain we had yesterday and this morning, there are still some rivers that are overflowing their banks. The other one too, the flood watch. These are, it looks like for, let's see, Western Ulster. Sorry, I forgot the county there. Western Ulster and Dutchess County, and I'm not too familiar with the Connecticut counties, but this county right up here in the darker green, that's the flood watch. That means there are conditions that could cause some flooding. Specifically, we're going to be seeing some ice forming in the rivers, and when the ice kind of blocks river flow, the water still has to get around it somehow. So that's what can cause a little bit of flooding there. The other interesting one, you can't really see it too much here, that very light blue, that is the wind chill advisory. So if I go up a little bit more into, say, northern Pennsylvania going into upstate New York there, that's where we're still seeing a lot of wind chill advisories. You can also still see the dark green there, the flood watch, and some in the light green flood warning. So those are some little rivers that are still overflowing their banks. So with that, with the colder temperatures, we are going to be seeing freezing. So black ice is something you definitely want to watch out for tonight and tomorrow. So with the overflowing of the banks, that could also cause some maybe a little icing along the banks. So you want to be careful with that if you're trying to get near the rivers or anything like that. The wind chill advisory, I'm just going to click on it here. So specifically, very cold wind chills expected. Frostbite can happen in as little as 30 minutes. So again, with these wind chills, I'm going to link in the description below linked back to my frostbite video that I made last year, just to kind of show, it explains kind of how quickly frostbite can set in. So that's kind of what the warnings there, going a little bit more south. This is going into Pennsylvania. Still wind chill advisories, going a bit more northeast here. Ooh, too far. But still Vermont, a lot of little flood warnings there with all those little rivers. And that's pretty much it with the advisories around the region. Now, we do have nice looking weather coming up tomorrow, and for Martin Luther King Day, just a little bit more clouds, but It's still going to be cold and very windy, so you definitely want to bundle up and have as many layers on as you can. But going into this week, it looks like there may be a little bit more snow. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to show you briefly 2 forecast models because I am following it, but I just want to keep it brief at the moment till we get a little bit more certainty with the forecast models. So this first one is the GFS. So this is today. It's showing these very tight isobars, so lots of wind. These dashed lines here, that's showing very cold air coming in. And remember, I always talk about when these isobars and the isotherms are perpendicular to each other, or that means that there's a lot of cold air or warm air advection. In this case, it's cold air. The most advection you could have with cold or warm is when there's a 90-degree angle. These are perfectly perpendicular between the isotherm and the isobar. It's almost there, so we do have a lot of cold air kind of coming into the region. So now as I fast forward through this, high pressure moves in. This is giving nice weather for tomorrow. Going into Monday, this is where the next system's approaching, so we may see a little bit more clouds. Now this is where we're seeing a little bit of snow. It doesn't look like too much snow, and I'm not going to talk about some snowfall totals just yet. But yeah, there's what looks like could be some light to kind of moderate snow showers going on to some steady just snow. And the very beginning, there is that right there with it's showing a little bit of green. I don't know, this is showing blue is frozen, green is liquid, so maybe a little bit of mixing to start turning into snow showers, but I don't know how much that will be, just because it's going to be a little bit above freezing, but not by much. And then this goes through, this is Tuesday, here's Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, going into overnight Tuesday, Wednesday morning, and then it clears out by Wednesday afternoon. And then all that moves out. The last one here, the NAM, this one doesn't go out as far. So here, this is showing that system moving out, high pressure going to move in, giving us a nice day tomorrow. Then through Monday, the high starts to move out. Now this is showing a little bit of a snow shower or flurry chance possible throughout some spots. This is as early as Monday evening. Then going into Tuesday, it's a little bit more intense with the snowfall rate, but we could be seeing little gaps here and there, but once it does pick up again, this is about 1 a.m. Wednesday. This is as far out as that forecast model goes. We'll have to see what happens with the later runs, but this becomes a little bit more steady snow, so we'll have to see if there's any kind of accumulations with that, but get that little subscribe button below and the bell icon so you know when I update or upload the weather videos, or if I go live at all, you will know and you'll get the latest weather information. So let's switch back over here to the main camera. Alright, so that was pretty much a quick little weather update for you. Definitely, again, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, so as I keep uploading these weather updates, you definitely have the latest weather information. Also, I am still in the studio working on my top 10 tech of 2017 video for all those that kind of like tech. And later on in the year, I'll try to be getting some more car videos coming up, because I do have a new exhaust system in my car, and I do have the Subaru WRX, and I do have new exhaust in it, so I want to get you guys a nice little sound clip of that. Alright, have a good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Definitely bundle up and stay safe with all the ice that may be forming overnight tonight.